Good morning. I have some things to share with you today. I've been working on the curriculum for my Creating and Holding Boundaries class, and in the process of doing that, contemplated what steps I take in order to create a boundary from a place of autonomy versus a place of outside stimulus. Step 1 is maintain awareness towards internal systems. Be paying attention to your breath, heartbeat, the tension in your body, and your tone of voice. It's a good idea to take several moments throughout the day just to check in with yourself so you have a better idea of what your baseline regulated state feels like. By checking in with yourself when you feel comfortable, you'll have a better idea of when things start to not feel so comfortable. Once you've gotten to know yourself and how you feel when you're in a regulated state, the next step would be notice the nuanced changes throughout your biology and really believe what your body might be trying to tell you. Our body is giving us signals all the time, and it's really easy to get confused about what those signals are trying to tell us. So it's important that we use our mind to communicate with our body in order to maintain clear communication. And that's why I added this step, acknowledge and validate. Those subtle changes are indeed occurring. When it comes to these signals of your body, I would liken it to walking into a room and seeing a friend. There's a difference between noticing your friend and walking up to that friend and acknowledging them. So once you start believing in the signals of your body, which a lot of us have been conditioned to be desensitized to, then it's important to recognize that sensation. Examples of acknowledging those signals would be thoughts like, okay, interesting. Thank you for bringing that to my awareness. Of course, you're not saying this to someone else, but saying this to your body. By acknowledging those subtle shifts throughout your biology, you're creating a buffer between the arousal and your response to it. You're deciding what you want to do with your biology instead of letting your biology decide what it wants to do with you. And from that decision is born a boundary. Step 4, make a decision of how you'd like to move forward in order to stay regulated. I usually make the decision to just be very direct with the other party and explain that I'm losing the capacity to give our conversation the attention it deserves because something is stirring in me internally. Or I could mention it subtly like, do you mind if we talk about something else? This is making me a little uncomfortable. This conversation is bringing up a lot for me. Do you mind if I take a moment to calm down before we continue talking? Then once you've made a decision, comes what might be the most difficult part of this process. Because it's a practice. As best as you can, express your needs. Hold yourself and others accountable for respecting your sense of safety. And yes, this looks better on paper. If one can't respect your boundaries, the conversation's already over. When you have verbally stated a boundary, and the person that you've created a boundary with doesn't seem to understand, or worse, is intentionally crossing that boundary, your safest bet is to dismiss yourself. And review. Tune into your subtle body. Notice the changes that occur within your internal systems. Acknowledge or greet those signals from your body. Make a decision on what you want to do about those signals. Create and hold a boundary that keeps you and hopefully all parties involved in a sense of safety.